Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Deb and this is DB Design and Sewing Australia. Really glad to have you with me. During the week I managed to get my boiler suit finished. Now this is a McCalls 7330 boiler suit, which is the one that the girl is wearing in the main picture. So full length legs, full length sleeves, and I will insert photos as we go. So it is completely finished. It did seem like it was going to be quite a long and lengthy sew, but it really wasn't. I've done another video that I'm releasing on adding a bust dart because there was no bust dart in this pattern, and I'm just not too keen on things that don't have bust darts. But I finished it and it didn't look nearly as bad as I thought it was going to look. I will insert lots of photos. So I've got it styled with a few different belts and boots and all that type of thing. And so you'll be able to see, I think in one I've got it with a black belt and black boots, and a brown belt and brown boots, and then with a red belt, which I actually quite like that red belt. But as far as the pattern goes, now last week I was saying how they had 6 pages of instructions, and technically it's got a fly front, so 6 pages of instructions that look like this. And when it comes to doing the fly front, this is how much they give you, this tiny section here. Now, it was okay for me because I've sewn jeans and so I know how to sew a fly front, but I was looking on Pattern Review and one of the ladies had made it, and she said it was so long since she'd sewn up a fly, she really messed it all up and ended up making it much smaller than it had originally been. Now on the pattern they actually say that it's a faux fly front. Now the only thing that I can find that's missing from it that makes it a faux fly front is it's missing the fly shield, which you could make if you wanted to. I didn't, because I actually used like what we would traditionally call a skirt zip. I did not. I got out some denim zips and all that sort of thing, and I thought it's just way too heavy for this fabric. It's just not appropriate to put that type of zip in this fabric, and so I ended up using just your normal sort of skirt zip. So, and it holds together really well. So of course they're not tight like you might have jeans being really tight. I think the seams would burst on this fabric before the fly would burst. But anyway, I mean, it has got the sewn front fly detail, which you can see. If I made it out of denim or even out of chambray, I'd probably do the double lines of stitching like I would do on jeans, and I would probably put a fly shield in it in that case. But it depends how heavy the fabric is to whether or not it warrants using an actual jeans fly zip. So let me tell you about the pattern. I've already said it had no dart, so I created a dart with a bust adjustment, and I created a toile. So I created a toile to make sure that this bust dart was going to work, and it did. It worked perfectly. It gave me extra room in the bust, and it's not supposed to be a fitted bust. It says it's a blouse top, and it is a little bit blousy, but and it has got plenty of room. And of course I usually do fake button plackets, and I don't do the buttonholes, and I just stitch it down and sew the buttons on so it looks like it's a button down. But of course, in this case, I couldn't do that because I wouldn't be able to get the jumpsuit on and off. So I actually had to really make buttons and buttonholes and cuff buttonholes and all that type of thing. So it's got buttons all the way down the front, not that you can see, and I didn't want, I mean, it's very, very busy fabric, and it is a polyester fabric, so it was really just a tester to see, well, maybe to see if I liked it and if I would ever wear anything like this. And I did have the opportunity to wear it, but then I was going to the doctor's after that, and it was to get an injection, which meant that I would have to take like all of my clothes off instead of just pulling up my sleeve, because there's no way that sleeve, even unbuttoned, is going to pull up high enough. I mean, the sleeve's got plenty of room in it, but you can't just slip your arm out of it like you can if you were wearing a shirt that you had tucked into the waist. You could just pull it out of the waist and take your arm out. But so I haven't worn it yet. I'm not sure how hot it will be because it is polyester, remembering that the fabric did not cost me very much money at all. $24 I think it cost. So it was really to see if I would like it, and I do actually like it, but the whole bathroom issue would probably be my biggest thing. So I would never wear it to anywhere like work. So I don't really know where I'd wear it to, but that's never stopped me from making things before, just because I have nowhere to wear them to. I guess I could wear it out to dinner. We do go to the pub or to the RSL or places like that for dinner, you know, where old people go. And I could wear it somewhere like that. It came together really well, and it actually fitted really well. And as I said, it's got a fly front, a button bodice, a collar with a collar stand, and in hindsight, this collar with a collar stand, and I hand stitched it down. And of course, it is a big 4 pattern, so it does often tell you hand stitch down the yoke. They don't do the burrito method. Hand stitch down the collar, which I don't mind doing. I don't mind the hand stitching at all, but it is a bit more time consuming. They did tell me to hand stitch down the front button plackets. So that's be what you're calling it. But I didn't do that. I actually sewed them. They had to be top stitched anyway, so I didn't really even top stitch it. I stitched in the ditch because I had plenty of fabric on the other side. So I thought no one's ever going to see that. So that's fine. I can live with that. It's got a forward shoulder yoke. So this is the top of your shoulder here. So that yoke comes over the top. There is no gathering in the yoke, but it does have a pleat in the back. So there's our pleat there, and there's a pleat on the inside. So it has a pleat that's stitched down by about 2.5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and it's got nice pockets. But I did notice, because I put my hands in the pocket already, I have stretched that pocket. And I did put interfacing in the edge of the pocket. Now, it doesn't tell you to put interfacing in the edge of the pocket, but from my experience, I know that your pockets that are patch pockets like that do have a tendency to stretch. And because the straight of the grain is going to be, well, it's really hard to see in this fabric. The straight of the grain is going to be the straight part of the pocket, which is here. So this is actually on an angle. So technically, it's got a bit of bias in it. So, and so it will stretch. I had no problem sewing on the back pockets. They are quite little pockets, and they look like they're baggy and hang away, but when they're on your bum, they don't hang away from your bum. So, yes, and it's got belt loops. All of those things came together really, really well. If I was to make it again, I would probably make the bodice shorter. Now, probably by, I don't know, 1.5 centimetres, but that would be the back bodice too. So it wasn't from doing the full bust adjustment. It was purely and simply, I'm short-waisted. So I did do my back, neck to waist measurement and it was okay. The only thing you'd have to make sure of if you shorten the bodice is that it wasn't going to try and cut you in half in the crutch, because if it's too short from your shoulders to your crutch, it's not going to be any good. But all of it came together really well. I will have been inserting pictures or photos all the way through. It's not terribly long. With the cuffs, I just turned them over twice and hemmed them, and I'm only 5'4", so if you were tall, I think it would be quite short. Now the girl in the photo, she's got hers turned up. You can guarantee she's going to be taller than 5'4". I don't know how she's got that turn up on them. So if you make it, just be very aware that if you're taller than that, or if you do want the turn up effect, because it looks like if she's got the same amount of turn up inside that cuff that she's created, she's going to have a good 5 centimetres, so a good 2 inches inside that, at least. So I don't know how she would get that out of it when I only did basically 1 centimetre turn up, 1 centimetre turn up again. So that's only a total of 2 centimetres, and it's really not terribly long, as you'll see from the photos. But I had a bit of fun making it. Hadn't made a big 4 pattern for a long time, and now I'm finished that. I'm going to go on to my Spencer woven pants, and hopefully I've got enough of this beautiful Italian suiting to make this out of. And if I have got enough of it to do that, I'm also going to make the birch vest. And a birch vest is by Pattern Scout, and I've seen some made up and they look really, really nice. And I was thinking if I had enough fabric, I would like to make this vest. Technically speaking, I only need the 4 front pieces made out of this, because I could use some sort of jazzy lining and do the back of the vest in that lining as well. But that's what I will be onto this week. I had also bought the pattern from Gertie, the society dress, and then I realised that stretch velvet I only had 3 meters, and if I was going to make the cowl neck, even though I'm short, I was going to need 6 meters. Well, Spotlight still had it, so I was able to get another 3 meters. I suspect I will only use about 5 meters, but I thought that would make quite a nice winter top as well in that stretch velvet, or I could make dresses in size 4 for the little girls. Probably get 2 dresses out of that, remembering it's got a nap, so you've got to cut it out appropriately. But that's all I've been doing this week. Now, what I've got on today is I have got a purchased jumper on. That's how cold it is in Melbourne. I've had to wear a jumper. And I'm also wearing it with my Genoa skirt and winter boots. And I learned a really good trick on the internet. So if you want to turn something under, this is a bit creased up now because I've been sitting down, but if you want to, I didn't want to tuck this jumper in, and I also wanted to make a bat wing t-shirt where it would look like it was tucked into about there and then sort of just draped down the sides. And I saw this trick where you can just use a belt. You can put a belt on, and then you can tuck up as much as you want under the belt rather than tucking it into your outfit. Well, instead of using a belt, I have just used a piece of elastic. So I just got a piece of elastic, made it to my waist size, stitched it, and now you can tuck up anything you want under that, if you can get it in the right spot, and you can wear it lower, higher, pull out more fabric, do whatever you want, do that for a shirt. So it's sort of taking the place a little bit of a French tuck, because you could also do that as a French tuck because you could tuck it under it. But I just thought that was a really good trick. I don't usually buy jumpers, but there is not very much fabric around for jumpers at the moment, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted any or not. I have got an oatmeal coloured fisherman knit jumper and a white summer fisherman knit full cotton one with a zip up the front that I do wear. So that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my jumpsuit. I will insert heaps of photos for you, and see you all next week. Bye.